Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Jiayanum, Pachairagale, Ni Hao, Chunishumme, Washmale. Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shumachatore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Bali Kereya, Hosh Galden, and Ayo Sayo. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into PTV World. You're certainly watching World this morning, alongside my very well-learned colleague who happens to be Ms. Hajar Sati. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. We hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well, that you're ready to kickstart your day and week with us. And ladies and gentlemen, the weather over here in Islamabad is fantastic, but it might not be fantastic for each and every one of us all over Pakistan. But first things first, hello Hajra, how are you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for introducing me. So Shahzad, for quite some time I was feeling very useless because I'm not reading the way I used to read, especially when it comes to university. But I guess, when you grow up and, you're out from your studies, so there are a lot of other things, which are preoccupying you, and that routine
captivate your attention, yeah,
right, and that university routine gets disrupted a lot. So if I would be telling my 20-year self that you're not going to be reading at the same pace which we are reading now,
yeah,
she might have freaked out and I don't know, died or something like that. But yeah, this is how life is, and I think we have to adjust it accordingly. Yes.
Well, it's not really important that you actually have to adjust according to the life. I certainly do not live with this rule, but obviously, for whatever comes your way, you really need to kind of decide yourself whether you're going to pick up on it or not. Whether you're going to leave that opportunity or you're going to create one for yourself. So I think it's about time that we realize that it's the time now actually kind of tells us that we really need to create opportunities for ourselves and other people as well. Because in the past decades, what I've seen is that people have been taking advantages of the opportunities they were given. I think it's about time now, because I've seen a lot of youngsters, a lot of kids, by just even doing toy reviews on YouTube have become millionaires. And I think, so today is the day where we actually kind of promise each other that we will be creating opportunities for ourselves and other people, and that too obviously Allah willing. This is the first thing which you really need to understand. Please make sure that every single day you're thanking Allah Almighty for that single opportunity you get every single day, every other day, and make sure that you take best use of that as well. So what, if I am to ask you, what opportunity do you think you can create for yourself or for other people?
Okay, so I am really interested in teaching, and especially to university students, not to the younger kids, because I don't think so I have the aptitude for that. So I think maybe I can polish my skill when it comes to the research or, publishing a paper or two, stuff like that.
And that's really important. And that this is something which we need over here in Pakistan, and I've been talking about it, that research, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to invest in it. So I think that's great. And you want to get paid for it, or you want to do it for free?
Okay, so when you are publishing your research paper, you have to actually pay for that. You're not getting paid, you have actually pay for that, because the good international journals, they ask for it. But we can say that we belong to a third world country, and we are poor, so we cannot really pay into the dollar, especially considering the fact that there's global inflation on the rise.
Considering the fact that you only get $4 in 1,000 rupees now, so I believe that now this is something which I was thinking that I'm going to start to kind of, this is what I was thinking. I don't know whether I was dreaming or not, but I want to charge my fee in dollars now. I mean, I think that'll be great too as well. But for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a fantastic week. Let's see what's happening all over the world. So first up, the top stories. What do you have for us? Let's see.
So, as Shahzad mentioned, it's raining a lot, especially when it comes to Balochistan, and we have seen a very erratic monsoon. So, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif will pay a visit to Balochistan today to review the ongoing relief activities for the flood victims. The Prime Minister will also meet flood victims in a tent village set up in the Khushnoob district, Qila Saifullah, and he will also visit flood-hit areas in Chaman and meet the local people. So I think that's really great that our top leadership is showing up, especially when there are very erratic weather pattern which is witnessed this year, and we do not have that much of a monsoon season in Balochistan, but this year it was very erratic and a lot of monsoon in the Balochistan.
Exactly. And in addition to that, just last year, this time around, the rain this year, ladies and gentlemen, has actually doubled. So the waterfall or the water which has been coming down in terms of rain as well has actually doubled from the last year as well. We will talk about it in the later segment, but now moving on towards I think it's a very mixed news. For petrol users, it's a good news. For diesel users, I don't know whether you will be very happy with that or not. But ladies and gentlemen, government has actually announced A decrease in petroleum prices in order to give relief to the common man. The price of petrol has been reduced by 3.05 rupees per litre. The new price is rupees 227.19 per litre. The price of diesel has been increased by 8.95 rupees per litre. Prices have now come into effect. So yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a mixed news. You know, the people who are actually consuming petrol, I think, would rather be happy, more inclined towards you know, being relaxed, and people who've been using diesel, well, it's a mixed feeling.
Right. So, you know, now we are talking really about the good news, and especially, you know, how Pakistanis, they are making us proud when it comes to innovation, when it comes to research, because I do feel that we have a lot of potential when it comes to the research and innovation. So, a Pakistani scientist, Dr. Wasim Sajjad, has won the Global Idea Market competition in the removal of the carbon at the Sustainability Research and Innovation 2022. Dr. Wasim Sajjad, an assistant professor at the National University of Medical Sciences, submitted his idea of a scientific research to a Future Earth and Belmont Forum through a presentation. The forum is working to explore a bio-based solution to combat climate change, which means using less chemicals and more recyclable organic products. Oh wow, quite an innovative idea.
True.
And the scientists and the researchers from all over the world participated in the competition every year.
So I actually want to congratulate you, Dr. Wasim, because you were here on the show too as well, and he actually spoke about it. It was interesting to be in conversation.
Yes.
And, you know, while he was here on the show, I thought that, hey, you know what, I don't think that it's going to become a reality, but now it is. Alhamdulillah, congratulations to you for making Pakistan proud. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not just Dr. Wasim only who's making Pakistan proud. You know, from any age, you know, for example, from 3 years to 60 years, 70 years, people have been making Pakistan proud as well. Which is why today we actually have a success story of a kid who started doing karate, you know, when she was 3 years old. She's been representing Pakistan all over the world, may it be London, may it be Europe, may it be anywhere else in the world as well. The best part is that his father, her father actually thought that it's a better idea to make sure that, you know, I indulge my kids into such an activity where they certainly do not get time for anything else. And from there onwards, this lady, ladies and gentlemen, has been conquering the hearts of all those Pakistanis all over the world, because she's been representing Pakistan and she's been bringing all of these gold medals you see on our table as of now today as well. So without any further ado, we will be introducing the superstar of karate. She's actually at the brown belt, if that's the right way to say it as well. She's got the brown belt, and I think there's 2 more to go, blue and black, if I'm correct. But we will certainly ask her about karate. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be Tareem Suleiman. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for joining us, and it's wonderful to have you. But let me introduce your coach first, and then we'll come back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, most of the time it's been said that, you know, that your father in the early years is your coach and your mentor. And that's not just the case. I think that he himself has been representing Pakistan on different platforms, won several medals. He's got like 7 academies over here in the Twin Cities. He's making sure that all of those kids come out stronger and mentally fit as well, because that's what karate is all about. So we're very lucky that we've been joined by Tareem's coach, who happens to be Mr. Qasim Suleiman. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Wa alaikum assalam. Good morning.
So thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thank you to invite us, because this is a real pleasure for both us to join this show.
It's wonderful to have you. This is the 3rd time, if I'm not wrong, that you're coming over here, but the first time for Tareem over here. So Tareem, you know, while I was going through your achievements, you know, they were so long and lengthy, so I wanted you to say it. So I've got a print of it, because I couldn't memorize all of them, so I'm going to share it with the rest of the world. So currently she happens to be the silver medalist in World FSK Shotokan Karate Championship July 2022, London, UK. Congratulations. Silver medal in National Tion Khan Karate Championship December 2021. Wow, congratulations. Many times gold medal, silver and bronze medal in Federal Karate since 3 years old till now. Federal Sports Culture Award with cash prize into 2021. Belts achievement, currently she is in blue belt, and next month she will apply for brown belt. 3rd, after that 2 more brown belts, and then black belt. That's too much. Aim, target, goal is to be a SAF game, to participate in SAF games and Olympics as well, to work for peace and women empowerment, open a karate club for girls, and the name goes on. You know, so congratulations first of all. How did you get yourself into karate? You know, were you always inspired and influenced by your father, or were you like, yaar, pata nahi abbu kya karte rehte?
I was inspired my father a lot because my father seemed like, my Baba seemed like a Superman to me. And when I was a kid, I was like, I just want to be strong and a superwoman like my Baba.
Wow, and that's wonderful, and you've done it too as well. But you know, 3 years is a very tender age.
Yeah.
You know, you're still growing up. You certainly do not want any bruises to your kid. So how did you manage to get her into karate, and that too at a very young age of 3 years?
Actually, when she was totally young, like I can say that 1-2 month old.
Yeah.
So I was keep taking her to the dojo, and when I was giving training, and she was in the prom, and from that time, the karate was in her subconscious.
All right.
So what I did when she took first step in the karate, and that was around 2 years old. When she was very young kid, and I was inspired because when she entered the dojo, she said "huz" because I never taught her what is huz.
What is huz?
Huz is when you're going in the dojo, the respect you're saying huz.
Huz.
Okay.
For respect of the dojo and for respect of the sensei to teacher. And I was really inspired, and I said, oh, she can do karate.
Yeah.
And then and she was wearing the uniform, karate uniform, like.
And we do have pictures, you know, we are going to share pictures of Tareem as well from the early days as well. But now coming back to you, Tareem, so, you know, it was not your decision to kind of get into karate because your father was taking you to the karate center himself. When did you realize, you know, when you were 4 or 5 years old, were you like, okay, you know, I want to do it? Or was it always that just because my father does it, you know, I want to do it too?
It was like always when I was 5 years old, I was like, I want to win like my Baba because he was going in international Korea international championship, and I was like, I want to go too and I want to win.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So what was your first experience winning the medal that you're wearing?
Sorry?
I'm asking, you know, so what was your first experience? You know, how was it, you know, wearing that medal, you know? How did you felt about it? Was your father with you?
Yeah, I was feeling so proud. I was feeling so good that in London, among so many countries' flag, there was Pakistan flag. I was feeling so good, so proud.
Right, right. Yeah. That's nice. Okay, sir, so I'm coming back to you. So, you know, we were going through the research, and you mentioned how, you know, you're working for the empowerment and you're empowering it through the karate, right? So there are a lot of ways for the empowerment when it comes to the women and men also, right? So why specifically karate? Why not some other way?
Because karate is the art in which you can learn self-respect, discipline, focus, and all the things. And even you can, like, by learning karate, when you're able to be black belt, you can earn money as well. So for women empowerment, I'm working from many years. Like a lot of my female students, now they are coach, they are teaching karate. And because the karate is the game in which you can you can get a lot of respect, a lot of self-confidence, and in women empowerment it can help you a lot because you can earn money with the self-respect because there is no harassment, nothing. Like by being a woman, if you know the karate, so you can teach karate anywhere, like in the school, university. You can your own dojo means the karate club. And because many examples I have. Like even the men empowerment also, like one of my student, now he is the player in the Saudi karate team. He learned karate here, he be a champion here. Even in Pakistan karate tournament, he got the silver medal. And now he moved to the Saudi Arab as a karate coach. And even he is, like here in Pakistan, he was earning just like as an office boy, 7,000 rupees. But now he is earning like 1,50,000 rupees
in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia,
Wow, that's
and
wonderful.
just he's teaching karate 2-3 hours, nothing else. And he's a part of Saudi karate team now. And this is my aim, to work for the men, for women, even for I'm just teaching some orphan students. Because my aim is to make them empower by having a black belt, and then getting job for them in different institutes in Pakistan and abroad even.
And we're sharing these pictures as well, sir. So please let us know, where are these pictures from?
These pictures are from Japan. Because there are many international, there are different seminars. This is from Korea, when I represent Pakistan, and the kid you was watching there. And this is in Pakistan. This is the Japanese embassy.
Korea,
he's been on my show too.
This is Korea, another tournament. This is also in Pakistan. We invited some ambassador from the embassy.
Okay.
And there are different pictures from different seminars.
Okay, so wonderful. So, you know, karate is, of course, a sports that is gaining a lot of momentum nowadays, you know. But in Pakistan, you know, we usually have a cricket, you know, which is a sports which is, what do you call, it's harbored, and, you know, there's a lot of money into it, right? And of course, you know, when you talk about karate, you say that, you know, it teaches you discipline and you have to have certain sort of attention in it. And I also say that, you know, we are living in an era where there's a wealth of information, but poverty of attention when it comes to the social media now. So do you think it's very difficult, you know, to train or tame your attention span when it comes to karate? How's that?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult because when I started karate, so my mom was saying me that I wish you could start cricket.
Right.
Because in cricket there's a lot of money. In karate there's only the money is
there's more of penta, less of money.
You are just teaching, you're making a healthy generation. This is money in the karate.
Okay.
I mean, it's very difficult to earn money in karate. Even when you're going for some competitions, you are spending money for that.
Okay.
You're not getting money, you're spending on that.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe a time will come when the karate player will say that I won this much cash prize.
Right.
Inshallah. And you know, she has won a cash prize in 2021, and we're going to come back to that. But sir, how is it as a father when you see your daughter, somebody else is landing punches and kicks on your daughter? You know, I think it must hurt you at times as well. And you must be like, okay, you know, Tareem, we need to do better. You know, you really need to come back stronger. So how do you adjust with that? Because you as a father in the first place, obviously, you know, you happen to be her mentor, her coach too as well. But when you see somebody's actually throwing punches at my daughter, you know, this really boils your blood, right?
Actually, when she started karate, when she started karate, and when I get to know that she is good in karate, and in the beginning she was practicing with the girls, tournament fights. But when when I just want her to go internationally, to win some medal. So I started her training with the boys, and till this tournament, she was fighting with the boys.
Wow.
She got punches, she got kicks, but as a father, it was feeling that, oh, she got hurt.
Yeah.
But as a sensei, I was saying that no, she can get more punches and more punches, that she can fight well.
Right.
So I think it's about time that we ask from Tareem. So Tareem, you know, it's a combat sport. You know, it's you know, where somebody's actually going to kind of throw punches at you, and then they're kicking you as well. Most of the time, if somebody punches me, God forbid, I don't know, it hasn't happened in a long time now. But if somebody punches me, there's this ego, you know, which tells me that, hey, you know what, how the hell did he actually kind of threw a punch at me? I'm going to punch back. But when you're in a combat sport such as karate, you really need to be mindful of your moves. You really need to know, you need to time it out as well. So how do you control your emotions, first of all, when somebody throws a punch or a kick? And then how do you respond to that? Are you thinking most of the time whenever you're in a competition that, okay, you know, I need to time my punches, I probably need to time my kicks, I need to have defense, you know, so all of that. How do you do it?
When I got hurt, that it feels a little bit emotional, kind of, you know.
It's natural, right?
Yeah, it's natural. But if agar mujhe zyada lag jaye, to na, what we do that we hug each other, like it's okay, it's fine, and then we are like, sorry, and that's it.
Wuz.
Right.
Right. So, you know, there's a very different jargon for it.
One thing I want to mention about that punch. Like in this tournament in London, in one fight she got one punch, and I felt that she got hurt. Like,
was it a blackout?
And when I just give signals, you want to fight? She said yes, I will fight.
Wow! So you know, you're always keeping up your, you know, that spirit of sport. I think that's very important too as well. But other than that, you know, so since you are so focused on karate, you've won so many national awards. Then why do you actually have to study? Why do you think that it's important to study at the same time? Because you're doing so much already.
Studies is so important for our life. Like not like I have a timetable. In my timetable, like it's Quran class, my karate class, my school homework, and a lot of things. But my mom is so strict in homework. She's like, no, you have to like if you want to go to karate, you have to like
study hard,
study
right?
hard.
So do you think that, you know, most of the time just because of karate, your father and mother are arguing because the mother's like, okay, pata nahi kya kara rahe ho beti se, and your father's like, no, she's going to do it. She's won so many awards too as well. So do they argue at times?
No.
That was a tricky question, and she answered it really very well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show these medals of yours to one of those people who are out there. So, and you have to actually tell us. First one, you know, you have one in your collar. Please let us know what does this medal tell us about your sport. So where did you got it from?
I got it from London this year.
Wow.
Maybe our producer Saab can, you know, just zoom into this medal, you know.
Why can't I hear him in my ear? Oh yeah, now I can. Yeah, so hold it and please let us know. So how was it? How many punches did you have to land to the other girl to get this award?
Is it a Commonwealth sort of a medal or what?
It's a world.
Okay.
It's a World Karate Championship.
And then I have another one. This says 29 National Tenshinkan. Is that true? So you got it from there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. Is it a silver or a bronze? It's a bronze, right?
It's a bronze.
All right. So we have so many of them. You know, I think it's going to take a lot of time. But what will be your message today for all of those people, all of those girls who are actually watching you on their television screens, whether karate is something fun to do, or you really need to be prepared for it, or you just cannot really kind of get away from it?
Everyone should, because especially girls, they should learn karate for self-defense. Karate is so helpful, like for our health too. They're so helpful, like self-defense, like.
Yeah. Well, what is self-defense? You know, let me ask you that. What is self-defense?
Self-defense, like if someone like is coming and attack us and we don't know what attack they're doing, we just have to do like some punches and some, you know.
Can you show us? Can you show us some punches? You know, so you know we can
actually
defend ourselves too as well. So we can do some self-defense too. Yes. Can you know, just while sitting? So what can we do? I remember kata. You know, probably something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we do that? But I don't know, you know, in Pakistan, karate does not work. Whenever, you know, someone is fighting, it's more of chapede, mukke, dhakke, late, you know, all of that. I don't know, you know, so even if you know karate, you eventually end up in dhakke and ghuse. You know, so how do you do that? You know, so because you really need to be watchful of whatever move they have, right?
We have to be prepared, like in karate, we are prepared for everything.
All right, you're prepared for everything?
Yeah.
Wow, Allah na kare waise to kis zarurat pade, but yeah, it's great to see that you're prepared for everything. What about you, sir?
The same question.
No, not the same question. What I want to ask you is that you started back when you were 10 years old only.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, you have more than 7 clubs now over in Pakistan. You're making sure that you're going to give that skill to all other children as well. Do you think that it really needs to be a part of syllabus, curriculum, you know, where kids go and do some extracurricular activities as well?
Yeah, it's really very important for kids to learn karate. Right now in Pakistan, the parents are sending now kids to the karate club. Like in my club right now, it's 120 students are practicing, and 60 girls are among them.
Wow.
Those are learning
like
karate.
half of them, right.
And it should be a part of syllabus. And this is my request to schools as well.
Yep.
But when they're hiring a karate instructor, they should know the background. A proper instructor can teach the proper karate, simply.
Sir, how do we actually kind of ensure that we are going to the right karate center? Because everybody in uniform might not be a karate master or a karate teacher. You know, so these days we have this trend over here. We do have twats too as well. So how do we finally kind of get to know that, okay, this is the right karate center to be at?
This is very really important question, and this is all about, because now this is the internet time, okay, and parents can easily search about the people. Whenever some parents want to enroll their kids in the karate center, they should know definitely about the instructor, not only karate, education background as well. And even if somebody is saying, I'm black belt, the parent should ask from where you got this black belt. And what is your teacher name?
So where do you get the black belt from?
Me.
Okay, you.
Yeah.
And these are the pictures. These are the pictures of Tareem over here on your television screen. So Tareem, very quickly, can you tell us a little about it as well?
This one is right now.
The one you're wearing, right?
The one I'm wearing. In London, we were like showing our Pakistan flag, and all of people were like, "You're from Pakistan. You came."
That's nice.
Yeah,
so the girl you're fighting is so taller than you. How did you end up fighting that girl? So,
like,
aren't there any weight categories?
No, in age there's no weight category. Like,
So if somebody is taller, they're taller.
Yeah, because
but they would get advantage then, no?
Yeah.
Even then they weren't able to take advantage. I think you were very great at your
I'm
sport
saying
then.
about that same fight, the girl, she punched her very tight.
Yeah.
And she did like this, and I said, Tarim, you want to continue? She said yes. And then she won the tournament. I mean, that fight.
Did you get bruised?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So do you throw punches at your siblings too? Do you make use of your sports there? Yeah.
Kind of. Sometimes.
At times. But you know the best
And
part of
then do you hug them after you're done with the punches?
I don't think so. You know, with siblings it's just different.
I just give them some
"Get
of
away
my
from me."
snacks, like sorry.
So I used to do that, when I was growing up, because I was fearful, that they might go to mama or baba, and then I will get a good beating out of that. So I used to placate them. Okay, it's okay, koi baat hai, I'll get you some chips or something like that.
I think that's wonderful, and I'm going to relate to that as well, because most of the time what would happen is that if you would actually end up beating or probably throwing punches at your younger sibling, they would cry till the time the mother's going to beat you.
Of course, they have their own blackmailing ways, right?
And they would always do that. But sir, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tareem Bete, for being with us. Thank you very much, Qasim Bhai, for being with us. Wonderful to have you. What is your goal now? What do you aim for? So you want to participate in SAF Games, Commonwealth Games, Olympics?
Right now my target is SAF Games and Olympic. I love Olympic, like cartwheel. I love Olympic and some SAF Games.
And we want to wish you best of luck for that too as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being with us. We want to wish you best of luck for making sure that you're going to be over here on such a platform and inspire a million other people to out there as well, because we go out in 46 different countries. We want to wish you best of luck, and whenever you're ready for SAF Games, or probably you're participating in SAF Games or Olympics, it's an offer from our side that you can always come to our show. Make sure that you show us how well prepared you are and how high your morale is. Okay, so best of luck to you too as well, and for all of those other amazing people who are doing such wonderful, amazing things, or probably creating opportunities for their kids so that they can represent the country, the motherland, which we call Pakistan. With that, we're actually heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful.
Welcome back. And earlier on we were talking about how karate helps us in our defense and in securing ourselves. So I think security has such a broad definition nowadays. It's not just about your defense. It's about making yourself secure when it comes to the food, when it comes to the climate change and whatnot, right? And earlier on we were talking about the climate change in the monsoon season and how it has impacted us in a very different sort of way. And I think we need to have some wholesome sort of amount of a study to recount the impacts that it had. So considering the fact that Balochistan was the worst affected by the flooding. Why? Because it's not that much developed when it comes to our the northern areas of Islamabad, and it is considered to be the periphery. So the death toll in the flood affected districts of Balochistan has risen to 136. While 70 persons have been injured. Inna lillahi wa inna ilahi rajiun. And according to a report released by Provincial Disaster Management Authority, a total of 13,535 houses were collapsed or partially damaged due to the ongoing heavy rains and floods. 6 highways covering 640 kilometers have also been severely affected in the rains and the flood. And meanwhile, large-scale relief and rehabilitation operations are underway in all the affected areas of the province. So what, Shahzad, our climate change minister Sherry Rahman, she previously went to the Berlin and she attended the climate change conference where she very eloquently talked about how global south is being disproportionately affected by the climate change, which was actually triggered by the industrialization, and the West was spearheading that, right? Exactly. When it comes to that. And she also said that there is no recount of the loss and compensation, and it is very concerning to the nation like Pakistan because of course we are badly impacted by the global inflation when it comes to that.
And this is where I would actually want to appreciate my Prime Minister, and it's because of the fact that that he kind of realizes the pain of the people whose houses have been destroyed, and not just that, there's so many lives being lost too as well, 136, to be very precise about it as well. And to be very honest, we have been talking about it even before the monsoon season, where I was like, we have been, the NDMA has actually been releasing advisories too as well, and it is kind of recommended by them that the people really need to move from the flood affected or probably flood prone areas too as well. And that's where our mistake is. And I would want to say it in Urdu as well कि हम कुछ 2 महीने पहले से programs कर रहे हैं जिसमें हम बताते जा रहे हैं कि NDMA advisories release कर रही है जिसके अंदर बता रहे हैं कि जहाँ पे सैलाब आ सकता है वहाँ से लोगों को अभी हट जाना चाहिए, अपना लाइफ स्टॉक भी हटा लें. And it kind of comes back to us too as well. हर साल हमें पता है कि we all know that the flood's going to take place as well, and nobody kind of goes away from there. And I think it's about time that we kind of find a solution where post-destruction we do not come to the rescue. I think it needs to be pre-destruction, that we know that okay, these are the areas and the agencies, all of those people who are working for the welfare of people of Pakistan really need to kind of get together to make sure that such floods do not occur. But ladies and gentlemen, the sole reason of these floods is that I have mentioned right at the beginning of the show, and that is that this year around the monsoon rain has actually doubled. The downpour has doubled. So imagine how the climate change might have been impacting. And to answer all of these questions, we're lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be a water scientist as well. He's Muhammad Abdullah. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum. Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you for having me on the show once again.
Thank you very much, Abdullah, for joining us. Wonderful to have you. And so we certainly need to understand the science behind all of these floods taking place. Even though we do know that every year we do come across these floods, even in Balochistan too. But why do you think? What is the science behind it? What is different?
I'm going to simplify it for you. Sure. For example, the first thing that you mentioned is yourself. We have a reactive approach, not proactive approach. It should have been a proactive approach. It's going to be 75th year of our independence, and unfortunately we lack a flood risk management policy. We have no flood maps. We have no flood zoning. We have no vulnerability hazards or risk maps. And like you said, NDMA is giving warning, but if you go to that website, it's in English. And you think those common men, those people, those livestock have been destroyed, and the houses, they are able to go to that website and try to understand in English. I think these are some communication gaps as well that needs to be addressed.
I think the local government really needs to put in the initiative. It's not only going to come back to NDMA.
But this was just an example of a communication gap as well. And also there need to be some other easier way for early warning system, not just the messages, but like you said, local governments need to announce beforehand. But how are they going to announce if they do not have those maps, if they are not being informed by the governments or those specific institutes or departments? If they're not informed, they cannot inform the people. So I'm going to tell you what happens. So because of these barrages and these dams that we have built, and they are so much outdated, they do not have the capacity to store the water in it.
Right.
So just to save those barrages, we have to flood. Like we always say, oh, India has flooded Pakistan. So what is Punjab doing? To save itself is just flowing the water downstream to Sindh. And from Sindh, there is a Gudu barrage, which gives water to Balochistan. And now all the excess water in the country is just being released in Balochistan to save all those barrages, dams, and the lands of the riches. That's why the southern Punjab and Balochistan is drowned. So it is kind of very sad, but it is what it is, and we can't do anything unless and until we have those storages.
And that makes you know, the necessity of having dams, you know, a very you know, challenging, you know, especially because we need to store that water, and all this water is, you know, the excess of it is going to just fall down into the Arabian Sea, and we can't store it. You know, then we are talking about the water scarcity.
But it's going to help us in the underground water recharge too.
Yeah. Right, and then we are talking about the water scarcity, you know, because the country is going to suffer from and is currently suffering from that. So, you know, I was going through the research, Abdullah, and especially when it comes to Nepal, they were mapping how, you know, the malaria that was, you know, usually present in the southern part of the Nepal, and then mosquitoes are moving, you know, towards the northward because of the monsoon season, and, you know, the breeding, the monsoon is very conducive to their breeding, right? So do we have such sort of, you know, holistic studies? I know that there is a dearth of it in Pakistan, but what does, you know, the current research, you know, predict about the Pakistani landscape when it comes to climate change and exploring?
Yes, climate change is definitely affecting us, and it's a reality. And I think it's a part of a process. Just like when we age, we start to get old, we have those wrinkles, and we try to go to those skin specialists and tell them to make me look young, but it doesn't happen. At a certain age, we stop. So it is a universal process since the birth of this earth. Do you know that Sahara Desert was not a desert 5,000 years ago? It was like super green with vegetation. So this event has to happen. Like the climate has to shift because of our carbon footprint, because of our behavior, how we are going to start living. For example, in the last century, we didn't have that much of industries and carbonization, so the effect was different. So now the effect will be different. So of course, but the blessing in disguise is that we are the ones that are going to get more water. If you look at Europe, they have wildfires and more dry season, and they're now 40 plus, and they don't know how to survive in that weather. So being a water scarce country, now we should use our brain wisely and store all that excess water that we're getting. I think the water right now, which is in Balochistan, is enough for the population for the next 2 years.
And this is exactly what I wanted to ask you over here, because, very sorry, unfortunately, we're not a water scarce country, but we are a country where we cannot preserve the water, you know, according to our needs. I think this is the
we have big managemental issues.
Exactly, this is the right way to put it, because we have done a lot of shows on it. We've kind of talked about a lot of research. But how do you think that all of this water, which is in Balochistan as of now, and in different parts of Punjab too as well, how do you think that we can store it? Do we have any sufficient, probably cost-efficient way of doing that?
Yes, if we go back in history, when the Britishers came here, it was their idea to build those barrages because they wanted to extract as much agricultural and crops and everything out of this land, because they knew it that one day they have to leave this place. So it was like just trying to get the most in the lesser time. And during the British Raj, we had the maximum number of famine in the history of subcontinent, where millions of people died. So right now, what the best part is, if we let the river flow, we get rid of these outdated dams and barrages. There's a width of 6.3 kilometers if you divide like 3 and 3 on each side of the entire Indus Basin, from Kashmir till the end of the Karachi.
I read about it.
Yeah, so it is like a big basin. If we just let the water go there, this is like a natural floodplain. Before these barrages and dams were constructed, the water every season was just settling down in that 3 kilometers on each side of the riverbed, and which is like 1 kilometer at some point and 500 meters at some point. It depends upon from which area it's passing through. So if we just let the water flow there, it will be so great. For example, I'll give you an example of the upstream of Sawan River. It has Murree, Patriata, Islamabad, and Rawalpindi.
Yeah. Okay.
Annual average rainfall here is 3.5 billion cubic meter, and our Mangla Dam storage 9 billion cubic meter. Just the rain that we get in this area, in these three cities, Murree, Islamabad and Rawalpindi, is equal to the 1/3 of the dam that we have stored there.
True.
Right.
So we have these boundary conditions. We have to work here. But what we have done, we have made a society, Sama Garden.
Yeah.
Right.
So where the water will go? The water has no. So if we let the water go there, this is a natural urea, khad or fertilizer, you can say, which the crops need. Wow. It is like super rich, because if you look at the geology or ecology of Pakistan, these Himalayan mountains that we have are 50 billion years old. If you look at the Alps in Austria and others, they're 150. So these new rocks have more erosion. They have all those minerals and silts coming out with them, which is unfortunately now sitting at the bed of the dams. And it's also causing more hydraulic jump, because every year the storage is getting less and less because of silting. We build bigger wall, and the hydraulic jump is increasing, and that's how it's getting flooded. So that natural fertilizer needs to be there where we have the housing societies. So this is a natural phenomena where the water will be stored in the underground.
So very quickly, what suggestions do you have in order to, if we are to store this water, if we are to use it for our benefit?
First of all, I think we have like so many departments, and the MA, water resources, flood risk department, like blah, blah, blah. And now Prime Minister announced like we have a climate task force. I think it's a very simple practice. Everybody can do it. Even I can do it. If nobody want to do it, this is a simple exercise. You just download the QGIS. It is open free software. Provide me with the data. I know you have the data, or you can do it yourself. Just do the flood mapping of the entire area. Make those zones. Make those zones. Nobody will go there with. Nobody have a construction there. People will not grow their agricultures there, and then they'll have an early warning system. It's a very simple process, and I think it can be done, and it costs nothing. You have the data, you download the software, you feed the data, you just run the model, that's it. Wow. I can do it from my laptop. If nobody can do it, I can serve my people for free. I don't need any money, I don't need any government office. This is my offer.
Wow, that's wonderful, and such is the kind of gentleman we need over here, such patriots. Thank you very much, Mohammad Abdullah, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation, for making it so simple for people over here to understand. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have menaces within public offices, you know, who are individuals who really, you know, just for the sake of money would actually give any permission and just look for their betterment rather than thinking about the country itself. I think the government really needs to put a check on these people who have been giving away permissions for these public societies to develop as much as they want. And not just that, but so what they do is that, you know, there's a lot of encroachment as well. So where do you think that the water is going to go? And the reason why we do not have any flood maps is because of these societies, because they do not let it exist, because if it will exist, they won't get permissions to construct.
Right. Thank you so much. And Shahzad, you very aptly mentioned a very important point. So it's not just the climate change and the, you know, a very disruptive sort of the monsoon season that we have. It's also that, you know, people have built their houses, especially in the way of the rivers or the canals or whatever the waterways are. And because of that, you know, they're actually encroaching on that field, and there's a lot of loss of the houses and the human lives also, right? So make sure that, you know, you follow the laws, because when laws are made, you know, there's certain wisdom behind it, right? And that is why they are there in place in the first place, to protect you and your material lives and human lives also. With this we will say goodbye, and we will furthermore discuss about the climate change, because I think that we are the most affected when it comes to the adversarial effects of that. So it's a goodbye for now. With the next episode we will come back again with another research, with another good program and good guest. Good morning.
Good morning. Look after yourself.